everybody, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to discuss, there was a motorcycle accident after the group ride in Harrisburg. I haven't uploaded it yet. I don't know the title I'm gonna pick for it yet neither, but I want to explain that motorcycle accident because I posted up on my Facebook for Sport Bike Menace, and the same thing with my Instagram. I posted it up there, and at least on Instagram, a lot of people, well, I don't want to say a lot of people, at least 2 people brought it to my attention saying, hey, that I should be more responsible and making sure that people ride safe and that they don't do what they do. And everybody's grown adults. I can't tell them what they can and can't do. I don't give them advice because, for one, they're not even a part of my group. And what I mean by that is that I don't know them. I don't ride with them. I don't know them. So the bikes that got into a motorcycle accident, I never ridden with them until that day, which was 2 days ago from today. So it was my first time riding with them. I did not like the way they were riding because they were constantly cutting me off, going fast, going slow, and it was about eight of us going back home. So even, you know, they probably subscribed to my channel. I'm just gonna be honest, I was gonna go home. It's not that I think I'm the professional or I'm the best. I just feel like I wasn't safe in that group. So it has nothing to do with me being better than them or whatever. It's just I didn't feel safe with them. So I was gonna leave, but my boy lined up the Hayabusa and the KTM to race, and they did. I followed them, but I was on the opposite lane as I was following them. So I was not directly behind them and I was not directly beside them. I was on the opposite lane, still behind them as they're going on the opposite lane. So if they needed to cut over, I'm watching them. So all I gotta do is, if I have to slightly move over to the right, that it was gonna be safe. So what happened was, so this Gixxer, I think, was racing another Gixxer right after they started racing, and they were racing on the same lane, the fast lane. So the one Gixxer was going too fast and stopped too slow. So he decided to press the brakes towards the end and then ran into the Hayabusa. So that was the chain of the accident. So when I saw that, because I saw it, I was right next to them, to the point where I have antifreeze all over the bike still, but I want to make this video before I go wash the bike. So anyways, so I saw everything. Antifreeze got all over my GoPro, my helmet, the bike. Some of the pieces of the bike hit my bike and there's scratch marks. So that started, so we all went on to the right side of the lane, which is the emergency lane. And the cruiser that was following us, his bike is slower. It's not a sports bike. It's not what we do. So because he was slower than us, he got stuck on the left side of the lane, which is the fast lane. And by the time he saw us parked on the right side, I'm gonna guess he didn't know how to get back home from where we were. So he wanted to stay with us. But since he got stuck on the left lane, he pulled over to this little, it's like a little space between the grass, there's a pavement, and then there is the highway. But I guess this vehicle was looking at us about the crash that happened between the Gixxer and the Hayabusa. So that vehicle was going slow, and then the vehicle behind him is speeding. So he saw that vehicle too late. So he went in towards the left side where the cruiser was at and basically hit him, at least going 60 to 70 miles per hour. Hit him very hard. But he's doing okay, he's doing good. But that was the chain of events. One bike hit another bike, and then a car hit the cruiser. And that's because, again, if we were riding smart, I'm not going to say we was riding safe because we were racing, but if we were riding smart, none of this would have happened. And I typically stay with the people that I'm comfortable with. So if I'm comfortable riding with you, I'm gonna stay with you. If I don't feel comfortable with you, I will leave you behind. And I was planning to leave because, like I said, I was getting constantly I was getting cut off with only 8 bikes, and they're cutting me off really close to my bike. And I had to pay attention to the rear tires so they don't nick my front tire. So I was getting fed up with it, and I was gonna leave. So after the guys were done racing, they went to give each other a pound, and that Gixxer ran into the Hayabusa. And I was so mad because I wanted to get home. I had my dog at home. I got my responsibility. We left Harrisburg, that event, super early on purpose so we can get home early. For nothing, because I didn't get home until 8 o'clock. So I was like, great. For all that, I should have just stayed at Harrisburg and just enjoyed the event longer. So I can't control what people do. I can control what I do. So I control me. I control my bike. Now when I'm riding with my good friends that I normally ride with, I give my advice to them. Plus again, we ride a Pacific way. We don't push our luck. So we don't push our luck. We do crazy stuff, but that's as far as it. Like, we race, I do my wheelies. I have my close calls with people. Don't get me wrong, but again, it's how you get out of those situations what matters. And I'm gonna give you guys an example. So that same day, I was gonna rear end the KTM because the guys, they went ahead of us and we got stuck behind traffic. So then I let the KTM go because I blocked traffic for him. So when the KTM, he was out, and I was going to lose him too. So for me to catch up to them, I gave it full throttle. But out of nowhere, I caught up really fast. And then I picked a certain specific part of the lane, and since I'm still in his blind spot, because I'm still far behind, so I'm in his blind spot, so he picked the same lane that I was going to pick to slow down. So then when I slammed on the brakes, my back tire locked up and started wheel hopping. I couldn't stop as fast, but that's fine because again, I picked a different side of that lane and I was still swerving next to him. And then I started letting him know, I was like, ooh, boy, by a little bit I was gonna hit you. But again, it's all about keeping calm and picking the right choice. Do I make mistakes as a rider? Yes. But to admit that you made that mistake to the guys, that's what you're supposed to do. Be like, look, I made a mistake, that's my bad. Yeah, they're gonna be mad at you. Just the same way as if a car hits us, we're mad at the car. If you a biker and you ran into me, I'm gonna be mad at you. And if you made the mistake, you be real about it. Be like, yeah, yo, I made a mistake, that's my bad, 100%, that's my fuck up. You gotta learn from your mistake. If you were speeding and you rear-ended another bike, or you sideswiped them, or you cut them off, that's your mistake. And I trust me, I was pissed that I had coolant all over my bike, because it's not even my mistake. Now my bike is running like crap because once I had coolant all over it, my bike didn't want to stop because I have coolant all over the rotors, the brake pads. So I had to ride home unsafe and basically not even able to stop because somebody else made a mistake. So if I crash because of somebody else, of course I'm gonna be pissed, because that's money that I invested into this bike. There's mad money into this bike, and there's sacrifices that I made to be where I'm at. But my advice to people is, if you can't predict the distance that you need to be in for another bike, and you can't respect other people's boundaries or respect other people's skills, then don't ride with me or don't ride in a group. Because when I'm riding, I'm always looking at my rear mirrors, or I'm checking, I move my whole entire body like this to make sure that nobody's right next to me so I don't change lanes. And then when you're riding in a big group and you're gonna go into somebody else's lane, you got to point where you're gonna be at so they know that you're gonna move to that side. There are certain hand gestures that we do in a big group so they know what's going on. So you make a fist in the air, that means we're coming to a stop. as a big group. When we tap our top of our helmet, that means there's cops ahead of us. If we point to the floor, that's where we're going to move at. If we use our legs to point at the floor, that means there's an object there or a big crack or big hole. There's something there that you got to move from. So there's movements that we do as a big ride, a big group, that they got to watch out for. And you got to predict as much as you possibly can. You got to be fast on your feet or fast in your brain, your eyes, whatever motion you got to make a move that you don't hit somebody. And if you know your bike is running, it's not good, your tires are bald, your brakes are bad, your rotors are bad, don't ride in the group or ride in the very, very, very back, or get to each destination by yourself. Don't put other people at risk just because you want to be irresponsible. And a lot of us, and I'm gonna say include me, because I don't got a license. Before, I didn't even have insurance, the bike wasn't registered, and no license. So if I hit somebody, I'm screwing them over 100%. I gotta do a hit and run. So that means I gotta be more careful so I don't do that to somebody, because that's messed up, that's wrong. My friend Gabriel, man, he rest in peace, another car took his life. It wasn't a biker, but it was a car, and we were super upset that that car did that to him. And imagine a biker doing that to us. A biker should know from right and wrong. So if you know from right and wrong that you can take somebody's life, then why be reckless around bikes? When I do wheelies, I pick and choose when to do them. And I choose how long I hold that wheelie and how far back I can do that wheelie. If it's out of my comfort zone, then I don't hold it. And I don't push it that far back, because it's not my comfort level. So stick to what you're comfortable with. And I know a lot of you guys who watch my YouTube channel, don't hold me accountable for other people's mistakes, because it's not my fault. My YouTube channel, I've been trying to tell everybody, be safe, ride safe, be smart. But if they choose to do wheelies, they choose to do rolling burnouts, they choose to race, that's not my fault. That's not, if they get hurt, yes, I feel bad, but it's not on my conscience, not at all. Because they're not a part of my group. So I'm not held responsible for their decisions. When we race with my normal friends who I normally ride with, we know what to do and how to do things. And yes, we didn't even speak about rules. It's just we just got used to each other and how we ride. So I pay attention, I look, I focus on the person that's I'm gonna probably end up hitting. I focus on him, so I watch what moves he makes so I can do the opposite move. Don't get me wrong, we all had our close calls, but it's how do you fix that problem before you make it even bigger. But everybody, I made this video probably long enough already as it is. I'm thinking about taking my custom headlights off because it's giving me problems. But it's not the headlights fault, it's my fault. I do wheelies, and even when I do racing, my bike comes up, and there's a little block like this, a resistor that's underneath the bike, that fell off. So now it's banging against my fender, and my headlights don't even work. The only thing that works is the high beam. So either I gotta fix it, or I'm just gonna take it all off. And trust me, it's a pain in the butt job, because I gotta take this whole plastic pieces off, all the screws and everything. It's gonna be a long day if I take it off. I don't want to take it off because I love the looks of it. I love the demon eyes, I love the halos, I love how bright the lights are, because the lights are super bright. But I just don't like fighting the wires. The wires are becoming annoying, plus it's a heavier unit compared to stock. So if I was taking racing serious, I'm losing seconds because the bike is heavier because of the headlight. But even with the front end being light, the bike is really happy on stock teeth. It just comes right up. At least about 8,000 RPMs, the whole front end just comes up. So yeah. But anyways, guys, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, put a like, want to put a comment. But please, guys, don't blame me for the mistakes that other people make. That's not my responsibility, and I cannot feel guilty for what other people do. That's not, I don't want to say it's not my problem, it's not my fault. Oh man, I forgot I gotta take cash out before I wash the bike. But anyways, so again, don't hold me accountable for other people's mistakes. I can't do nothing about that, especially when they're not a part of my group. If we meet up with somebody and they ride with us, that's their problem, not mine. Let me wait until I go. But anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next video.